US President Donald Trump has lashed out over Canada's trade outreach to China. Donald Trump has threatened Canada with an additional 100% tariffs if it signs a trade deal with China. And both Canada and China are now rushing to downplay this entire significance of their recent agreement. Trump set off this new political storm after the World Economic Forum summit in Switzerland's Davos. The Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney had won plaudits for his statements at Davos, remember, where he urged middle power nations to come together or risk being on the menu of the bigger countries. Donald Trump had expressed his displeasure at Mark Carney's statements and then decided to target the new partnership that Mark Carney had forged with the Chinese president. Trump put a post on social media where he threatened Canada with 100% tariffs. He said that this was to prevent Canada from signing a deal with China. Trump also implied that any such deal would be akin to Chinese exports getting a drop-off port or backdoor into the U.S. On Sunday last, Mark Carney had said that Ottawa had no intention of pursuing a free trade deal with Beijing. He said that the only thing agreed to do so far was the ratification of recent trade issues between Canada and China. Carney added that Ottawa would respect its commitments under the existing US-Canada-Mexico trade agreement and that the deal requires every partner country to inform the others if it plans to pursue a deal with a non-market country like China. Meanwhile, Beijing has also issued a clarification.
China and Canada have established a new type of strategic partnership, which includes concrete arrangements for properly addressing economic and trade issues between the two countries. It does not target any third party, conforms to the common interests of the people of the two countries, and is also conducive to world peace, stability, development, and prosperity.
Earlier this month, Carney had traveled to Beijing to negotiate a new partnership with China. They secured a preliminary in-principle agreement to remove tariffs on a few key goods. Of particular note were Chinese electric vehicles and Canadian canola oil and canola meal. Canada, remember, had imposed 100% tariffs on imports of Chinese EVs in 2024, and Beijing had responded by imposing a 100% tariffs on Canadian canola. This in-principle agreement between Carney and Jinping is to remove these relatively recent trade barriers. It is not a free trade agreement. However, Donald Trump seems convinced that this in-principle agreement is a way for China to get backdoor access to American markets. And in a recent social media post, he even claimed that Beijing is successfully and completely taking over Canada. Will Beijing and Ottawa now be able to change his perception? That's the big question.